Welcome back, everyone, to Court of Swords. Going into the second hour here of the show. Adam, what's going on?
Well, y'all have dysentery. So I mean, I guess when we come back in, when we fade in from the break, I imagine you're not all still like flopping around in the corpse field. Like I imagine you've kind of like you're nearby or elsewhere, right? You've checked. We can skip over the part where you like check to make sure no one else is still alive. Everyone is also very, very dead.
Yeah.
And we've cut in. It's maybe like an hour later. The intense sun pounding down on you, and you're off to the side of the battle. You've managed to scavenge up some gear, which is whatever you characters start with, and now you have to figure out how you're getting home. We know that you're several weeks travel through hostile territory and dangerous terrain, but there's several ways that you could get back. The fastest way would be to just march straight back north up the road. That's also the most out in the open. The most likely to run into the forces of the Necromancer King because he uses these roads too. You could just head for a nearby village. There's villages all over the place. So you could head there and rest and try to get some help, maybe get word out to the rest of the army. You could travel incognito in the lowlands, like try to keep your head down and move that direction but stay off the road, or you could head out into the mountains, which is like kind of a L-shaped return home, but the mountains are full of dangerous monsters and potentially hostile dwarves. So I guess that's the decision before you. So the group of you can play this out in character, just talk it out, figure out what you're going to do, and then we can sort it out from there.
I think I probably, after I got through the shock of losing my eye, went off and tore some fabric from someone and made it into like a makeshift eye patch or just like a cloth that drapes over my eye.
Yeah.
And so with my one eye, I'm just sitting down somewhere wherever we decide to take a second. I'm just staring at Luther, expecting him to know what to say and know what to do.
Luther is still staring off in the distance of the battlefield. Tears still in his eyes.
It's the only clean part of your face. So you're covered in blood and shit, but there are these just like streaks down your face where we can actually see your skin.
Yeah. And just take a heavy sit on the ground and I should have died with him.
I just slap you.
Fair?
Yeah,
Fair.
because you got to get out of this. If you want me to roll ahead, I can. But if not, you just get a big, meaty palm right across your face. Commander, please. We need you to lead us here, not look past.
No response and look away.
He doesn't slap lightly either. Like he's a monk. This is a fucking karate slap. But I mean, it's the depths of your pain. So you're just kind of like grit your teeth, stare off into the distance.
Mm-hmm. I guess a question for the other two of you: how much interaction did we have prior to this? Like, have we met? Have we interacted before? Do I know you guys?
I would think that our platoon was big enough that like we probably saw each other in camp, but like probably not talk too much to each other.
Okay. Well, I guess I turn around and I look towards. I look at Dim first, and he's probably muttering to himself or something. What are you doing, Dan?
I'm currently staring at a tree, wondering if I've seen this before or what type it is.
Okay.
Can I crossbreed it? Can I use it to make a potion?
You've definitely stepped back in my usefulness eyes. So then I look over towards Daxa. What are you doing?
I'm like kind of just standing there with my arms crossed and watching the slap fight happen between you and Luther.
Yeah. If Luther doesn't say anything, I turn to Dax and say, what do you do? I'm looking, trying to size you up, see if I can figure out what your thing is.
Yeah, I like kind of like pop up a little bit and I look down the bridge of my nose at you and I'm like, I am a bard.
Okay, do you know what that one does over there? I point towards Dim.
He forgets things.
Okay. Commander, you're gonna have to take over here soon.
What's the point? I led us all into this death trap.
If you wish, Commander, we can just kill you and leave you here.
I think that'd make it easier.
I like reach for my short sword, and pull it out, and look towards Daxa and say, should I do this?
Wait! I know what to do. I have a plan. Everyone, come here quickly.
Quickly before he forgets.
Oh, okay, yeah. I run or briskly walk over there. What is it? Did you find something in the tree?
I'm just sitting there for a second, looking at the ground, and then I look up at you. I look back at the ground. I'm saying, so what is it? I heard someone had a plan.
You had a plan.
You have a plan. What is it?
You had a plan. You told us to come over here because you had a plan.
I heard someone say they had it wasn't. What is your name again?
A growl like comes from me in almost upset tone. I turn to Luther and say, Commander, your men need you. Are you going to lead or are you just going to grovel?
All right, Luther. All right, I'll stand up slowly, turn and look at you and hold my hands out. What would you have me do? We're weeks from camp, surrounded by the enemy. We have no hope.
Did you say it's midday?
Yeah, it's like brutally hot.
And then when these things attacked us, was it just like a normal horde or like what was it, an army? Like,
Yeah, it was a mixed unit of humans and former humans. The commanders seem to be the like living servants of the Necromancer King, and then the grunts were like zombies or skeletons, half-formed corpse soldiers.
okay. I turn to Luther again and say, we've got a couple hours till they'll be back. We can at least see how far we can go. Maybe find shelter.
Oh, you want to find where to go? Oh, I actually can help with that. And then on the ground appears a perfect map of the area, an illusion of a map that scouts out the basics of the mountains and the trees and the roads and stuff.
All right. Let's see. Do you have an ability that makes this map accurate?
I guess I would do. It'd be based off my memory of the area.
Mm-hmm.
So could I do a history check to see how much I remember of the landscape?
I mean, doing any kind of cartography or any of that stuff falls under survival. So you can make a survival check. Yeah.
Okay.
13? Yeah. All right. So it's not bad. You've probably seen a map of this region before. And yeah, so you conjure before you. Now, is this kind of like you're projecting it like from your hand? Is it a little like 3D kind of like hologram looking map? Is it made up of like what is it? Describe what the map looks like.
The map just looks like a sheet of paper that's crudely drawn, like basic outline of the area. Not like super detailed, but like big triangles for the mountain and that sort of thing.
Cool. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So based on what Dim is able to recall and on this map that you have before you, you're pretty deep in enemy territory. I mean, you knew that was part of the plan, right? You're fighting the forces of the Necromancer King where he lives. But yeah, if you have questions, feel free to ask.
Walk forward and look at the map, and with being in commander position, there's been a lot of maps I've looked at, a lot of moving the pieces around. How accurate does this look to me?
You can make a survival check as well.
Okay. Where's my character sheet at? There it is. Did you click it?
Yep.
Yeah, just click the skill. No roll for
Hey.
it. Boom. Nice. Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's some tactical inaccuracies. Maybe the river, rivers aren't exactly drawn out the way you remember it. But yeah, I mean, it's enough. It's accurate enough.
What I'm
To
looking
give you a
for,
basic idea.
what I'm looking for specifically is that if we've been going through like where they're all undead, so they don't really need supplies and stuff like that. But like what scouts have brought in, the information that my character would have from leading this.
Mm-hmm.
What would be, in his opinion, the safest way to go back? Like, or well, I'll make my own opinion, but like tactically, according to the map, where will we have a good chance?
Well, I mean, the safest thing to do would be to find a friendly location and settle up there, right? Because you're just the four of you, and there's enemies every place. If you believed that you could you could travel quickly and stealthily, staying off the road is a good call, because the road is going to be the easiest place for you to get picked off. Yeah, I mean, safety is going to be difficult to come by no matter what.
Okay, well, I'll try to recall where the nearest village is, and point out in the map and tell the party we can find a shelter. We should be able to find a shelter here. Then we can spread the word of what's happened. And wipe these heavy tears off my eyes and wipe my face. Look back at the battlefield.
How far away is that?
You can see on the map when Luther points it out, the village. You'd guess, there isn't a road there. Most of the villages here are served by the river and by the streams. So if you want to go to this village that's nearby, you figure it'd be like 2 days travel, kind of northwest, away from the south areas where the Necromancer King runs the show.
Okay. Dan, do you say that information or do you say it, Luther?
Do I say it? No,
Yeah,
I did not say it.
Okay. Maybe Dan's character says it then, or do I just know, Adam?
I mean, you can tell by looking at the map.
Okay.
It's just like your best guess in terms of time.
Okay. Yeah, I turn around. All right. Well, we need horses. I turn. Do I just see like a horse corpse splayed open on the battlefield? Like there's no actual horses.
Yeah. So the Court of we've seen this a bit before. The Court of Swords doesn't really use horses. They use goats. They have these like giant like riding goats. And this is an infantry division, so there aren't really any. Maybe there are a few, but y'all march where you go. So yeah, I mean you vaguely remember the Necromancer King having some kind of like cobbled together corpse steeds, but yeah, nothing. Certainly nothing still alive.
Okay. I turn back to we should start walking then.
Gonna step up to the party. I guess we're kind of in a circle around this map, and I guess like grab whoever's the nearest on the shoulders, JP and Ann, and be like, okay, we're all that's left. I'll do my best to get you guys back, and I'll cast Aid and try to give us all 5 HP, temporary HP.
Nice. Okay. And aid lasts for 8 hours. So what does it feel like when you embolden your friends with this power? What do they feel when you cast your spell on them?
Feel it's nice, warm, tingly, like a nice yellowish tint of light surrounds you, and it makes you just feel a little more confident in yourself.
Yeah, I'm curious because you're the channel for the fountain's power, so it flows through you and empowers your friends. Does that feeling of confidence or anything, does it feel any different considering what just happened the last time you made a bunch of people feel confident about themselves?
There's a bit of confidence, but in my mind, if that transfers in, there is a large shadow of doubt in the background.
Right. So there is definitely like, yeah, there's that sense of confidence that sort of fills all of you, and you feel emboldened, but also something, some sense of foreboding seems to leak in at the edges.
Always the optimist. I look at Luther and say, "It's good to have you back, Commander." I'd probably like reach out and grab his hand, embrace it.
and kind of give him the dead fish and pull it away and start heading in the direction that we're going.
As he's walking, I'm just standing there, arms at my side, kind of sad. As he pulls away from me. Turn to the other two. All right, come on. Stop staring at the tree. Hey! I make some snaps.
Are we going on a trip? I love trips.
Yes, we're following the commander.
Maybe we should leave this one here.
No.
Maybe. That hurts me.
You'll forget. It's fine. And I just like start walking.
She meant someone else. It's okay. Come on
Sounds
now.
like a bad person then.
As I'm walking off and notice they haven't started following me, turn around and yell, "Fall in, 25th Legion!"
As soon as he says that, I like come to real quick, start getting in a line, start marching down the line. I don't know what the others do.
Right. So we, as a group of you start to head away from the road, heading northwest towards this village on the map, the illusion of the map fails and disappears, and we linger for a moment on the battlefield, and we see maybe one of the corpses kind of like roll slightly to the side. And from underneath it, another corpse like lifts itself up, and we can see it's got like an axe buried in its head, and both of its eyes have been like they're burned out. There's hollow spaces, and this corpse kind of like lifts itself up and like watches after you, and it opens its mouth, and a low kind of rattling hiss comes out of the body, and we can see tendrils of heavy black smoke kind of like drifting from between its teeth and tumbling down its chest. And it watches after you, head kind of cocked to one side as you leave. So yeah, you head out into the farmland. Now this area is all like relatively clear. There's not a lot of like cover. There's some bushes here and there, trees left behind. Areas that haven't been able to be completely cleared from the jungle that used to fill this area before it was rice paddies. And so it's not hard travel, right? Like you're going through farmland and stuff, so it's all pretty. You can make pretty decent time. But I'm curious what you're prioritizing. So are you trying to move as quickly as possible? Are you trying to be stealthy at all? Like what's your priority here for getting to this village?
I think that's up to our commander.
Commander's in that heavy armor, so he's not really being sneaky about anything. But
Yeah.
well, it's definitely to stay off the road, stay off the beaten trail. I'm not trying to take him through just like overgrown areas where he can't move. A mix enough to stay off, out of the way of just open view if we can, and to still make it there before the sun sets.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I mean, you're not gonna make it to this village like walking today. Like if you
if 2 days, right?
Yeah, if you force march it, like maybe, but it'll be 2 days of travel.
Not in this heat for sure.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say if you do that, So basically, you're spending a lot of this time going through these fields that have been left untended for some time. And if you've ever seen like what a rice paddy looks like, it's like ankle to knee deep of water. So you're slogging through this, and it's hot too. It's like hot standing water. So it's not a comfortable trip by any means. And eventually, the sun starts to dip behind the horizon, and the heat. I don't want to say it dissipates; it just gets to be different. So the sun goes away. The heat is more ambient and sort of moist, and you can hear the buzzing of mosquitoes as they all kind of come out, and you can start feeling them like crawling into your armor and like clinging to your skin, looking for a meal. It starts to get dark, and you are not really anywhere near the village yet. You know this to be the case, but there is some dry land that you can set up on if you want to try and rest.
Do we know of what we know? Are the enemy forces one to move at night? Do they march during the day? Do they march at all hours?
So the Necromancer King, he employs all manner of dark creature, some of which come out at night. But he has this ability to use untiring soldiers, so they march all day, all night.
Okay.
But at night, yeah, there are shadowier aspects of his army that are going to be around.
Sure. Commander, should we walk through the night?
Well, the undead army's not going to stop, but you look like you need a rest. How about we rest for a short time and then continue?
Works for me. I turn to the other two. We're going to take a rest. Commander wants it.
Oh, can I set up my tent?
We only have enough time.
It only takes a minute.
If it only takes a minute, then sure.
Okay, I have a very, very, very nice tent. Just give me a minute.
Just set it up. It's fine.
And then I start channeling a spell, and this big magical dome of protection starts appearing. Just in front of you, this big dome.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
10-foot radius.
Yeah, 10-foot radius dome of force. So yeah, there's a big like geodesic dome that kind of appears from magic, and is just sort of sitting in the middle of this field.
Are we inside of this when you cast it, or are we on the outside of it?
You're outside, but you can go in.
Oh, okay.
You just summon a magic yurt.
Oh, do you want to share? Like, it's okay.
Yes, I would like to share.
Okay. I like to have tea before I go to bed. Is that okay?
Can anyone enter this and poke at the wall of force?
Well, if someone apologizes, and I look at Daxa, maybe she could come in.
I like kind of to Mop, who's standing next to me quietly. I'm just like, well, he remembers that.
Dax will apologize.
Kind of half like, ugh, fine. I'm very sorry, Mr. Dim. May I enter your magic hut?
No. All right, the rest of you can come in. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, ma'am. You can come in.
I thought he was serious at first, so I like looked outraged for just a brief second, and then was like, "Thank you."
I'm glad we got this figured out. I go and open up the... How does the tent open, Dim?
I wave my hand, and just an opening appears in the dome, just big enough for you to climb in.
Okay. I'm bewildered by this. I'm kind of taking it all in. I've seen these before, but never entered in one. When we enter into it, what's inside?
Well, I am a great master of the arcane. It's nothing.
I've heard that one too before.
All right, I'll enter.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I mean the inside of the hut, from the outside, it's visible. It's opaque, so you can't see through it. But inside, you can see out of the walls. There's a faint sort of shimmering where the wall would be, but you can see right through it out into the field. So it's like kind of like you're still outside, but inside, it's dry, which is huge. And the terrible heat from outside doesn't seem to penetrate its walls.
I'm sorry, it is a bit dirty in here. I didn't clean last time.
It's fine.
It's much better than being out there and wipe some sweat.
I agree, Commander. Do you have food?
Yeah, I have. Well, I have rations, but nothing great.
Okay. I sit down Indian style and take out my rations and kind of, instead of letting the other eat theirs, I'll give each person a ration of my own.
Okay. So how much, as a group, I want to gather everybody's rations. So how many do you have, Mop?
In my Dungeoneer's pack, it says I have 10 days of rations.
All right, so 10 person days. Anybody else have rations?
Yeah, I have 10.
Yeah.
Okay, another 10. All right.
Oh yeah, how much is an explorer's pack? That's what I need to look at. Sorry.
Yeah, Luther and Dexa, do you have?
We didn't go over that in character creation. I forgot that was a thing.
Yeah. Did you buy a pack?
No, 'cause I didn't remember that I was supposed to do that.
Okay. Let me check for a bard.
Yeah, what page are the explorer's pack on? Do you guys remember? Okay, just look it up.
You can just look it up in Roll20. You can just look up
Yeah.
under the compendium, the little I. If you just type in pack, it'll bring up all the packs. So you can have a diplomat's pack or an entertainer's pack.
Okay.
The diplomat's pack contains a chest, 2 cases for maps and scrolls, some fine clothes, a bottle of ink, a pen, a lamp, 2 flasks of oil, 5 sheets of paper, a vial of perfume, sealing wax, and soap. Or you can have the entertainer's pack, which is a backpack, a bedroll, 2 costumes, 5 candles, 5 days of rations, a water skin, and a disguise kit.
Well, you don't have any food.
No, that one has ration.
That one has 5 days of rations.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'd go the entertainers.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll take the entertainer's pack.
Okay, and then, sorry, Luther, you have 10 days of rations in your kit?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 35 person days. So 35 days of rations. And every day you use 4 of them. So
I just marked 4 off of mine, but
let's see here. So that means you have 35 divided by 4. You have about 9 days worth of rations total for a longer than 9-day trip. So just this is a thing, Commander. You take stock of the food everyone has, and you definitely won't make it home with this amount of food.
All right, I keep that information to myself.
All right. All right. So everybody eats some military rations inside the tiny yurt, and yeah, and I think that you can stay safely in here for a full 8 hours if you want to.
and you said we can see out, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I mean, people outside can see in, but they are barred. They can't see you, but they see it. It exists.
Okay.
So yeah, creatures, all other creatures and objects are barred from passing through it. Spells and other magical effects can't extend through the dome or be cast through it.
Okay. I like put my hand on the structure. You said it was like, what do I perceive the texture of whatever the wall is to be? Maybe that's a question for Dan.
That's a great question for Dan.
When you start to push your hand towards it, you start feeling like the closer you get, it's like pushing 2 magnets together. You start feeling a strong and stronger force as your arm gets and you just can't quite touch the dome. It won't let you.
Huh. Dim, can they attack through this if we had enemies?
Only words. They could insult us, but we can see out, but they can't see in very well.
Oh, and then I turn to the outside and look sad. And then to test the strength of it, I want to punch the wall.
Okay, sure.
It's gonna break it.
Does anything
Yeah,
happen?
I mean, I think it's like Dan explained. It's less like you're punching a physical object and more like trying to fight gravity, right? like hitting it it pushes back with the same amount of force that you attack it.
Okay. So yeah, I punched the wall. Then I just turn around, go back to sitting down.
So in Luther's mind, he doesn't want to stay. He wants to keep moving as much as he can, but given the situation that we're in, like the heat and the mosquitoes and the way we're traveling, do I think that we would just exhaust ourselves if we continued traveling after taking a short rest?
If you push your troops here to keep moving through the night, yeah, there's a chance they'll start to get tired out. It's real hot, so
Yeah.
plus now you're like inside, and even with your paladin's resolve, you're like, oh, it's like cool and dry in here.
So nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we probably haven't slept in something like this in a while.
Yeah, definitely. This is the most. I mean, I guess like the. I mean, maybe like if you have the capacity to cast this every day, I feel like you've been in one of these before, Luther. Unless your caster, unless Dim just didn't ever use it. I feel like this is the kind of thing that you'd be like, all right, like this is the command tent every night, and so maybe this is like. It's between you guys though. So like, Dim, were you employed to do this for the officers to make one of these, or?
Yeah, I think that's like the standard is instead of taking actual tents, the army has wizards to cast convenient spells like that to have these magical tents to protect the elite officers from night ambushes and stuff, so they can't be
Yeah.
assassinated easily, that sort of thing.
Cool.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right. Well then, yeah, I feel great about staying here, and I'll say to the party that, okay, I think we can. We're going to be safe here for the night, and gesture over to our mage. But we should still keep watch. We can see out of this, correct?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, we should still keep watch. I'll take the first watch. If you know, when you're on your watch, if you see anyone coming, wake us up. Let us know. I don't want to have to fight if we don't have to.
Understood.
And I will take a seat facing in the direction that we came from. And yep, that's it. Eat my rations.
Okay. All right. So you take time to rest. Everybody gets a chance to try to get some sleep. And I think we come to the camera lingers on Daxa as Daxa. What does it look like? How are you preparing to sleep? You have like a bedroll. You're like rolling out, or what do we see?
Yeah, I'm very much like a person of creature comforts. So I've got like all my like kind of blankets and things that I had put in my backpack, and like incense, which I've lit.
Mm-hmm.
Meditating before I go to sleep.
Okay. All right. So the place fills with the scent of incense as Daxa sets out to sleep, and we see you lying down, pulling the blanket over your shoulder and closing your eyes. And I think almost immediately we cut to a horrible nightmare. Like as soon as you fall asleep, it's just like screams and the seeing from your place in we see the kind of fronds of the bush that you were hiding in, and then through it the atrocities of battle. And we see you somebody in the battle, some soldier who's trying to escape, maybe an archer who's near the back, fires an arrow and then gets attacked from the side by a couple of undead. And he manages to stab one, and he turns and he makes eye contact with you. And you see the like pleading look in his eyes as the zombie grabs him from behind and sinks its teeth into his neck and like pulls a big chunk out, blood, and you watch him die. Like he has eye contact with you the whole time. You can't turn your head. Can you make a wisdom save for me, Daxa? Okay, all right. So despite and I think we cut over to the whoever's on watch at this time, maybe Luther, maybe it's you. You hear Daxa making some like distressed sounds in her sleep, but it fades and she does manage to get some sleep. So you're able to rest, Daxa, despite being plagued with nightmares. Let me, while you all take a little sleepy, let me roll something here. Make a note. Got 5. Okay. All right. Cool. So yeah, you all take turns looking out for danger, and yeah, no one follows you that you can see. There isn't like an arrival of another unit of these undead. You just see the moon reflected in the muddy land of the area around you, and yeah, at the end of the 8 hours, there's a faint popping sound as the hut vanishes, and then suddenly just like hot wind just flows in to fill the space, and you're like just drenched in sweat immediately, just as soon, like just instantaneous heat. Yeah, and so whoever was the last person to wake up, if you weren't awake before, you sure as shit are now. Yeah, it's morning, and the day promises more slog, more heat, and more bugs.
Thank you, Dim. That was very nice.
It's not nothing to a master of the arcane. Don't worry, it's fine.
Okay, Commander.
Let's move out.
Okay.
And I kind of look around and say, Commander, there's not an army. You can just say, let's walk.
So discipline's very important.
I kind of give you like a sideways scowl. What did you say?
I'm sorry, Commander.
Let's move out.
Let's move out.
Damn right. Okay, so you continue your march through the farmlands, and I think we get a sort of like time lapse of the long slog. There's signs in this area of the conflict, mostly that the fields are going untended, and eventually you get within, I think, as the sun starts to set at the end of the second day, you start to approach the village. There's going to be a few more terraced fields around it, and then you can see in the distance, as the sun is setting, you can see the tops of these huts that make up the village. And so the group of you are approaching, and I think that you can see there's a little wagon path, and then beyond it some trees and a field. And as you get within, I don't know, a few hundred feet, you can make out shapes. It looks like there are people by it. There's like a big cart that somebody is like loading up, and you can see some people out in the field moving around, but they're at a distance, so it's hard to tell what's going on.
Can I make a perception check to see if I can, or is it just distance? That's
yeah, I mean, there's haze and it's getting dark, so you're going to be at disadvantage, but you can. Yeah.
Okay. 22.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. So there's at this distance you can see there's a big cart. There's no sign of like a goat or a horse to pull it, so it looks like maybe it's a person that's pulling that would be pulling the cart. But there doesn't seem to be anyone near it. You can see from here there's like a half dozen or more figures standing in the rice field beyond. And then there's like a big sort of indistinct shape a little further away that you can't quite make out. Yeah, it's hard to see. There's the haze of the heat, but they don't look like farmers. I'll give you that much.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I think that maybe what really clues you out is that the wind shifts slightly, and you smell the unmistakable stink of death, the like sort of sweet kind of cloying smell of dead bodies kind of blowing towards you.
Okay. I put my arm on Luther's shoulder. Commander, I don't believe those are farmers.
It's a heavy sigh and look at him. What do you think they are?
My gaze once looking straight forward, I turn and look straight at Luther and say, I think you know.
Yeah, and when you say that, you hear a scream of panic from the field, and you all kind of like turn your head to look, and you can't really make out without getting any closer, because again, like it's getting dark, and you've got the sun kind of coming right across the horizon at you as it sets. But you hear someone scream in panic, and there's a bit of a kerfuffle, right? Someone looks like they try to get away or run, and somebody else grabs them and like drags them back towards the field. And you can just barely make out in the accented sort of dialect of the Riverlands, someone basically begging for their life. Someone's like, no, please no, etc.
Oh, the paladin feels. Oh,
yeah.
All right. Well,
Do you
Luther is going
spring into
to-
action? What do you do?
Luther's gonna draw sword and shield.
I think
And
well, as you draw sword and shield, I said, Commander, before you save others, you must save yourself. Do you understand what I'm saying?
we're not gonna make it back either way. We need to save as many as we can.
That was such a smart phrase. Did you come up with that?
And I turn and start walking towards the village.
Okay. So the last sort of piece of cover, the area you can sort of stop before you make out what's going on, is it's a big old tree growing up out of a relatively dry area of grassland before you reach the field. So you're not walking in the sludge of a field anymore, and you can kind of make out from where you are There is indeed a cart. I've got a map I can show you. There is indeed a cart by the side of the road, piled high with what look like dead bodies. Scattered around on the ground, there's a few more bits of viscera, right? Like you can see the shine of an organ or two, maybe a chunk of intestine. And then beyond that, there are 4 soldiers standing in the field holding bows. They got long bows. And then arrayed before them in a line, you can see there are there's going to be 4 sort of still living like peasants. I've used tokens, little zombie tokens, to represent basically everybody that's a human, dead or alive here. But 2 over on this side, on the right, and the 2 over on the left here still appear to be alive. The peasants are roped together at the wrists. They look like prisoners. So they're roped together, and then the 3 in the middle are dead. They're lying with arrows stuck in them, lying in the field. And then in the midst of all of them, there is an enormous greenish gray kind of Hulk-looking creature. Now it's definitely dead. It's moving with the shambling gait of a zombie, but it's kind of like out in the field, and it's picking up the bodies. It's thrown one over its shoulder, and the begging is coming from the yet living farmers, who it looks like are getting lined up to be executed by these 4. At the very edge of your vision, at the far side, in the dim light, you can make out this guy. You can make out a shadowy figure. It looks like a soldier at a glance, but you realize that he's kind of from the knees down, he's dissolved into smoke. He's floating slightly above the field. He's not causing any ripples where he's standing. And you can see 2 baleful yellow lights glowing where his eyes would be. And he seems to be overseeing the situation. Now, y'all are approaching with the sun behind them, pointing towards you. Are you making any effort to be stealthy?
He was not.
Okay, is anybody else?
Yes.
I am.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyone who is attempting to sneak up can roll stealth.
18.
Okay.
22.
Nice. 22, 15, and 18. All right. Let me see. I'm just going to pull the passive perception for these guys to see if they notice you. Chances are very low. Okay. All right. So I'll mark on your token. I'll put a little ninja face for everybody who's hidden. There we go. Okay. So you can see all yourselves. You're up by this bush out in the back,
Okay.
and your paladin friend is striding forth. So I guess we'll give you the scene here, Luther. So you're walking forward. What do you do?
All right. On this little cart right here, the one behind that. Oh, those are the regular dead.
They're
people,
dead
right?
bodies. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Those are corpses.
He is. Well, he's running on in there. I would like to go behind the cart full of dead bodies, if I can make it to that.
Okay. Yeah. Don't move your token yet, but you just come out in the open and start heading that direction. Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right. So they notice you right away, which means we're gonna need to roll initiative. So to do so, if you pop open your character sheet there, Luther, you have an initiative thing. Now don't click that yet, because you're gonna need to click on your token first. So just highlight your token, and once it's highlighted, go ahead and click the. There you go. Yeah, just like JP's doing there, and it'll add you to the initiative tracker. And then we can get started. Let me roll initiative for all my stuff. All right. So
Nice.
man in charge, and then the big guy.
It's almost as Luther just wants to die.
And then
I think that a lot of people are wondering how dim a 300-pound 5'11" man is hiding. You didn't notice it this entire time, but I don't make noise when I walk. It's kind of odd. You don't understand how it makes any sense, but I've just gotten to be very nimble on my feet. And so most of the time, he's pretty quiet.
Did you guys roll magic items?
Nope.
he's a very graceful dude.
I'm
He's a
just
monk.
super fucking graceful.
That's his jam.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Dax, you see your commanding officer stride forth, ready to be a hero. You have the initiative. What do you want to do?
Deer in headlights moment right now for Anne. I love it.
So how many of these guys are actually alive? Because you said that these were dead body tokens too.
How many of them are alive? I mean, 0.
But they're undead.
But animate. Only. So there are. There are these 4. This like line in the front of soldiers, skeletal soldiers. These 2. I'll put a little heart on the humans that are not corpseified yet. So let's see. We'll put a little red dot on them. So these are humans that are still alive. That one, and this one over here. And then the 2 that are over in the corner on the other side. That one and this one. Okay.
And then the 2 by the cart?
They're just bodies. They're just dead bodies.
Okay.
Yeah, here, I'll just move them for you so you don't have to worry about them for now. There you go.
Great.
So yeah, Daxa, you're currently hidden. You see Luther beginning to head forward. What do you wanna do?
I think I'm pretty. How far away are we?
Like 80, 90 feet from the cart, and then another.
So since I'm stealth, is there anywhere that I can move closer and stay in stealth?
Yeah, you can hide behind this bush. Technically you're hidden, so you're like moving quietly. D&D does a little bit the same as like a Skyrim situation where like you're stealthed, so just don't do anything. You're just like walking crouched, and you'll stay stealthy until there's like a reason for them to look directly at you, in which case they'll see you. But you do have the paladin who's about to like draw all the attention. So
yeah, okay. Then, sorry, I'm like trying to get used to having all these spells and things that I can do.
Yeah, it's okay.
Within 60 feet of you. Okay.
And if you want to like keep your stealth, you can do what's called hold action, where once something happens, you will do your action, so that way you can stay in stealth until it happens.
Yeah, you can tell me the trigger, so you could say, when this happens, I do this thing. You can take your action then.
Okay. I'm gonna. I don't know what to do. If I use like any of my spells or anything, I come out of stealth, right?
Yep.
Yeah, they'll hear you.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. I'll use my my bardic inspiration before this fight starts to give everyone an inspiration to use.
Cool.
So
How do you inspire us?
Oops.
Within 60 feet of you, and you each have a D8 because we're level 5.
You choose one creature to inspire. You use a bonus action on your turn to choose one creature other than yourself within 60 feet who can hear you, and then they get the die for.
Okay, then I will inspire the paladin.
Okay.
Who is marching into battle.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah. What does that look like?
Just like as he's walking away from us, and I kind of call out after him. Like, today you make your final stand, Commander. I will write songs of this moment. And I like pull out my lute and I like strum a chord
Nice.
dramatically.
I'm
envisioning-
thumbs up.
yeah.
Wink.
Yeah, I'm envisioning like the beginning of like The Trooper by Iron Maiden or some shit like. Ew. So you start to play, and you can feel the magic of Dax's song filling your heart with passion for battle. Cool. So you have that. It's a D8, you said, because you're 5th level.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. So you let me know, Luther, when you want to add that D8, and you can add it to any ability check, attack roll, or saving throw that you make. And you can do it after you roll a d20 too.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay. So that's just a bonus action, Dax. So you can still move. You could use your action. You could try to hide again if you want.
Can I move and try to hide again?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. You
I'm
can do
gonna
one move.
Here, and then I'll do my stealth again.
Okay. So that's a 40-foot move. You got to move back 10 feet. You moved too far.
Or 2 squares.
Yeah, there you go. That's fine where you are now.
Okay.
Okay, and then great stealth. Okay, so you use the song, and then you run to somewhere else that you weren't, and then you hide. And so I think that they glance in your direction, but they don't. They're just like, oh wow, this guy's louder than we thought. Cool. Okay. So the skeletons, at a command from their shadowy leader, the two on this side over here, they turn and they fire their bows at the two prisoners down here, both of whom die to the shot. So the skeletons use their turn to execute those prisoners, and then they move up to the edge of the field and turn, drawing another arrow, getting ready to fire at you. These two, let's see how far away you are. Let's see, 8320. So you're pretty far. They're both going to take shots at you, but at disadvantage because you're quite far away, which means you're probably just going to get arrows bouncing off you. Your AC is 20?
Yeah.
All right, this is going to be very difficult, but here we go. So the first one takes a shot at you, and misses because of the distance. And the second one takes a shot and same thing, misses. So if you're a little closer, that one would have hit you. But yeah, they fire at you and it misses you. So cool. I'm just adding a timer to the initiative order here for when those guys got killed for no reason at all. And Luther, why don't you take your turn?
All right. How far am I away from that cart? What tell? I see you dragging this arrow.
Yeah, you can click on the thing that looks like a little comb. Yeah, and then click wherever you want to measure from, and then measure to.
Yeah, you're not ready for the advanced maneuvers yet. Just don't. Don't throw yourself into that.
Click your token. Hit the space bar. Don't do that. Don't do it. No one knows how to do that. Yeah. So if you just click the little comb ruler looking guy, that's your.
Hey, okay.
Your measurer.
Yeah. Like you.
Yeah.
All right. That spot right there, I'm dashing to there.
Okay.
Was it that one? Yeah.
All right. Cool. Yeah. So you moved 30 and then moved 30. So you're just running for that cart.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, see, dash is an action. Guess
Yeah, so
sanctuary
you-
myself as a bonus action.
Yeah, you certainly could.
Why not?
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're gonna use your bonus action to cast Sanctuary.
Yeah.
So it lasts for 1 minute or until you make an attack or cast a spell to affect an enemy creature.
Mhm.
All right. What does your Sanctuary look like?
Oh. I'm a yellow light kind of guy. I just got like a nice yellow glow around me that gets a little darker around the edge of my skin, I guess.
Right, and I think that we see from the perspective of the skeletons, or when they look at you, it's like kind of hard to look directly at you, because you have all this like divine power, and so they're kind of being forced to look away. Cool. Okay.
I think you just like power walked. Then it was you just walking. Every stride was heavier and heavier. Yeah.
just run in and while I'm going in, just give a blah.
Yeah. So you have a shield and a longsword, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you have your weapon drawn, shield out. The two that fired at you have missed. You're striding across the battlefield. And I want to we're owed a break, so we'll take a break in just a second. I want to take this commander's turn, and this would be a great place to end. So the shadowy commander at the back here looks to the newly formed corpses over here. He turns his gaze on there. We're all like tight in on him, and he reaches out with a shadowy hand and whispers, "Your king commands you, rise." And the body of one of the peasants, like lying in the mud, gives off a rattling, wet cough, and vomits forth a cloud of shadow that emerges from it and takes a human shape, standing directly in front. So yeah, there you go. So we see the body cough up its shadow, and then let's take a break here.
All right, let's take a break. We're probably gonna spend the next hour fighting the entire hour. So when we get back, get ready for a lot of action. We'll be right back. Hour 3 of Court of Swords coming up right after this. We'll see you guys in just a bit.